Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to another exciting session for Employee Center Academy. This is the November session of the series, the second last of this year. As we approach closer to the end of the year, it started to get a bit chilly where I'm based out of in India. So I hope you all are enjoying the weather as well. For those of you who are meeting me for the first time, I am Spriti, Senior Outbound Product Manager with Unified Employee Experience Team. This is the team that manages Employee Center Pro, and related conversation integrations with Microsoft Teams, Zoom, and Now Mobile. I'm super excited to welcome Pooja Gupta as a co-host for this session. She's the outbound leader for our team. I'll let you say hi, Pooja.
Thanks, Smriti. Hi, everyone. Very nice to meet you all. Very excited for the topic today. And please keep the questions coming, and we will address them as much as we can in this session.
Thank you so much. So before we dive any further into the presentation, we have a safe harbor call out here for any roadmap statement that we would be making in today's session. Please do not make your purchasing decisions based on any of the forward-looking or roadmap items that we share today. Employee Center Academy, as you're aware, is a monthly series of events where we do the product deep dive. We pick up one topic from our product suite, and we do the deep dive on it with our product and engineering teams on call. We explain the business value, the licensing and family plugin requirements, and we do a detailed demo in these sessions. In past, we have covered some very exciting topics such as multi-phase deployment strategies, how to optimize organizational change management for your organization while you are doing the deployment. We have also covered dynamic topic microsites, experience and service feedback, and all the other topics that you often need to kind of revisit and go back to. We have put the uh, session recordings on YouTube as well as community for all our past sessions. You can see the link on your screens, and we have shared it on chat as well. And we will be sharing the recording of this one in this list as well. Some housekeeping rules. So we will try to save some time towards the end for Q&A. If not, please feel free to continue posting your questions in the Q&A panel, and we have experts on call who will be manning the Q&A panel and helping us answering those questions as we go on about the session. If you have any comments or thoughts that you would like to share, feel free to drop them in the chat. However, for questions, do leverage the Q&A panel. This session is being recorded, and as I just said, we'll be sharing that on YouTube. The SLA is typically 7 to 10 days. So after about 10 days duration, you should be able to see the recording on community as well as on YouTube. After this event, you'll be prompted to fill out a short survey as usual. The feedback that you provide in this feed events form helps us improve further events for you. So please do provide your honest feedback there. Awesome. So just to introduce the topic, today we are going to cover enhanced request experience. This is going to cover the recent enhancements we have done to the request page, the request widget, with our July release this year. We are going to do an overview of the entire request experience and what all enhancements we have done with this July release so far. And we'll also be walking over the admin configurations that needs to be taken care of if you're trying to update these enhancements for your instances. And we have a detailed demo planned as well. Just to introduce today's panel of experts, we have Ashutosh from the product side, who is the product owner for this capability. And from engineering side, we have both Arjun and Prakhar on this call as experts. I'll let you all say hi.
Yeah, thanks, Smriti. Hi, everyone. Super excited to be here. We have been working on this capability for some time, and I'm super excited to share this with you. Over to you, Arjun.
Hey everyone, looking forward to answer all your questions and take this feature ahead. Thank you.
Prakhar?
Hey guys, really excited to be with you. I am from employee experience team and we have been working tirelessly to get you the latest and the greatest. Looking forward to all your questions.
Thank you so much, team. Let's have a brief introduction about the request page. So, as your end users or employees raise several requests, such as they could be raising request for a laptop, or they could be raising request for an HR case, or they could be raising an incident. They often feel confused around, okay, I've just made a request. Where do I keep a track of that request? Where do I check what is the status of my current request? This is where we have something called request page on the Employee Center portal. It's a unified view of all your employee requests in a single consolidated list layout. With the July release, we have enhanced this request experience. And you could think of this request page as kind of like your Amazon orders page, but it is for work. So whether you're trying to track your recent laptop request, or whether you're trying to keep track of what is the update on the incident that you raised, or what is the update on the recent HR case for your payroll that you raised, or what is the update on the facilities ticket that you raised. So you can see all of that update together in one single page. And additionally, admins also have control on what request types they can display on this request page. So they have the option or the flexibility to configure what tables should be included, or what filter conditions should be applied, and what kind of request should be displayed on this page. So let's say if you want to filter out sensitive information like sensitive HR cases such as payroll information or something, you have the flexibility to filter those things out. So it's a win-win for both the employees and the admins. Employees get the clarity on what is the latest updates and status of their recent tickets, and admins get the flexibility of configuring this layout. Now, let's look at the enhancements that we have made to this request page experience with the July 2025 release. So, in the July 2025 release, we have completely redesigned the My Request page experience to help employees managing the growing number of requests that they regularly see, and whether it is something that they submitted for themselves, or something that they submitted for their team members, or even any incidents. So as companies scale up and requests pile up with the employees, we wanted to kind of simplify this request page experience, and provide more flexibility and configurability for organizations to display whatever request that they wanted to display in a more easy and seamless manner. So not just a simple list layout where you can only filter out open and closed requests, but we have now provided a more intuitive card format, card layout here, and the organizations and admins have much more flexibility and configurability to add as many filters as they require. So we are going to talk about the configurable tabs and filters so that employees can quickly separate their own request from their team request. And we are also going to talk about the cleaner card layout that makes it easier for employees to identify whether this is an incident, or this is an HR case, or this is um, something else like a content-based request or something else. So when we consider the enhancements that we have done, the first thing we have to highlight here is the tabs or the segments that we have provided out of the box to help you segment all your existing requests in two basic buckets. First is created for you. This bucket is for all showing all the requests that you have created or requests that you have submitted for yourself. Let's say you have requested new filter for your Mac, right? This is the request that you have created for yourself. So it will be displayed under created for you tab. Now, we also have provided an out of the box tab called created for others. Let's say you have raised a request for some of your team member. A new member has joined your team and you wanted to raise a laptop request on their behalf. So that's a request that you have created for others. So that would be displayed under the created for others tab. This is the out of the box tabs that we have provided. And besides this, you also have the flexibility to add your own tabs and define what conditions should cater to those tabs and what type of request should be displayed under those tabs. We have everything covered in the demo, so we'll be covering those use cases and giving you um, ideas or inspirations on how you could leverage this flexibility option for your organization. So let's say you have requests that do not cater to either created for you or created for others tab. We also have a third tab called others tab, where by default you can show all the other tabs and admins can kind of configure if they want to show it under either of these two tabs or create a third tabs separately. Now, second enhancement I want to highlight here is the filter options that we have on this page. So employees can quickly narrow the results by the status of the request or when was it last updated, or if the organization has added any of the other filters such as department or location or the type of request and so on and so forth. The employees do have the flexibility to um, kind of filter those requests by these filter types. These filters appear inline, and we also have an all filters shortcut here that opens the slide out modal for the filters that shows the all the filters that you can select and make a combination of to kind of filter down or streamline your existing request. You can also, as an admin, you can also configure some of the filters to auto apply on load, or if as an employee you have selected some of the filters that would be displayed as these pills format like we have highlighted in the screenshot. Then we have moved away from the list format to this very cleaner card format. So admins can control what details must be shown or displayed in on these cards. So what title should be displayed on this request card and what details should be displayed on these request card. Up to two details you can configure and show here, whether you want to display short description of this request or whether you want to display um, for which person has this been opened for or which person has requested this request. So you can configure all those requests so that your end users or employees see the most important information easily. Then we also have smart keyword search that makes it easier for your end users to kind of jump straight to a very specific request that they are looking for amongst the plethora of requests that they may already have open. Let's move on to a quick demo. I will just reshare my screen here. So on the homepage, we have on the mega menu shortcuts for my request, and under my active items, we also have the request shortcut here. If I click on these requests, it navigates me to the enhanced request page experience. So my organization has already opted into this enhanced request experience. So I can see the intuitive tabs format here. The first one is request created for you versus the second tab is request created for others. If I click on the request created for you, I can see all the requests that I have created for myself. It could be an incident, or it could be a standard service catalog request. I do see filters here out of the box. So this is an out of the box instance that I'm showing right now. We will also do a demo very soon, displaying the out of the box art of the possible configurations as well. So out of the box, we have filters for status that says open and close, and for updated within last 7 days or last 30 days. If my admins had added other filters, I could see all of them together using this all filters layout that opens the slide in modal, and I can see all the filters here. This can be a combination of single select, multi select, or even reference field based filters such as location or department, where I can type in the first few letters of the word. Like if I had a location based filter, I can type in something called San Diego or India, and I can quickly search based on that. So that's a reference field based filter. Then we have the cards, the request cards here. As you can see, I have the status of the request up on top, as well as when was it last updated, and the short description of this particular request, the number for tracking purposes, who was this, the person or the caller who raised this request, right? Or in case of an incident, I have chosen to show the priority. If I click on created for others, I, as a admin, have created a lot of incident-based requests for other members of my team. So I can see all those incidents here. I can filter based on the status, and I would only see the open request or in progress incident request here. Or I can also search by keyword. So let's say I type something called payroll. So I will only see payroll related request here. Or even if I have a direct tracking number, I can type in that tracking number and track. Any of the requests that I have started out and saved as draft, but not yet completed or submitted, that would be displayed under drafts. So that was a very brief overview of the request experience, the enhanced request experience. We are going to go in details in the further demo that we have. Let's move further. So at this point, I also wanted to highlight the December 2025 enhancement that we are doing for the request page experience. As you can, as you saw in the demo right now, we have filters that are applicable for all these different tabs that I have created for you, created for others. Now, with the July release, you had filters defined static for all these different tabs. So if I had status and updated filters, those two filters were static or standardized across all these different tabs that I had. Now, with the December release, we are enhancing it. We are taking it one notch higher. And we are offering tab specific filters for the request experience. So let's say if you want to add a filter for one of the tab, but not for the other tabs, you can define those filters. For example, in the screenshot, you can see I have defined department filter for the created for you tab, whereas I have added a location based filter for another tab that I've configured on this instance called factories. So with the December release, you would now have the flexibility to kind of offer tab specific filters for your instances. Before we move any further, I'll just take a very brief pause. Ashutosh, is there anything else you would want to emphasize more or highlight before we move to the admin configurations?
No, Smriti, you've got it covered very well. Please continue.
Awesome. So let's move further in the admin configurations, and then we can move towards the detailed demo for the admin configurations. Now, in order to configure this enhanced request experience within your instance, there are 3 basic steps that the admins need to take care of. The first one is you have to opt in to the enhanced request experience. This is a opt-in based functionality. So you would navigate to Employee Center request, and there's a setup tab under the request where you can see this opt-in screen. You would select the yes, I need opt into the enhanced experience. And before you even do the manual opt-in, as an admin, you need to ensure 2 things. First is if your organization or your instance has any custom request tables, make sure those custom request tables are mapped to the correct filters or the correct tabs, whether they need to be displayed under created for you or created for others, or any other custom tab that you need to create. You need to make sure of all those rules before you kind of opt into the new experience. Otherwise, your custom request might not be displayed in the enhanced experience. Second is the cross-scope read access. So you need to review all the restricted caller access from the list and ensure all the entries are properly allowed and validated before this is opted in, so that all the requests that you have already mapped into, they are correctly displayed on the front-end experience. Next step we have is configuring your source table. So if you remember from the first slide, in order to display the request on the request page, you need to define from which table the system needs to pick up these requests. So your workflows could be sitting in n number of ServiceNow tables, and you need to kind of go ahead and define from which table this request has to be picked up. Out of the box, we have provided the source table configuration for few frequently accessed use cases, such as HR cases and incidents. But beyond that, if you don't find the use case that your organization instance uses, you need to configure the source table. So you can choose which request type to include in the enhanced experience. For example, request types such as incidents or catalog request or procurement request or any other request. And then once you have selected those request types and you have selected the table from which it needs to be displayed, you can also customize or configure the card layout by selecting what title to be displayed in this request card and what details you need to display on the request cards. So you can configure up to 2 key details. So if I go back to this experience, on this request card, you can display this title and as well as these 2 details. So if I am configuring an incident table, I can define whether I need to display this title here or incident number here or whatever, and up to 2 details I can configure as admin. Then finally, you need to set destination pages for the request click-through. This is basically once I, as an end user, click on that particular request card, which page will it navigate to or redirect to. So I need to set that destination page. Once you are done with these configurations, the third and final step is configuring the filters for displaying these requests. So under filter definitions, you can do like 4 basic things. First is you can create your tabs and give names to your tabs. For example, out of the box, we have created 2 tabs, created for you and created for others. But let's say your organization needs to display a third tab called factories or site incidents. You can create those tabs under the filter definition table. Second point is you can set up filters for departments and status and updated date and much more. So out of the box, we are providing 2 filters for you, status and updated. You can always go ahead and configure additional filters such as request type or department and more. Then you can also configure or show or hide filters based on user roles or personas by defining the user criteria for which user criteria this filter is available for or not available for. And finally, you can also define what filters need to be automatically applied on load. For example, I need to apply open filter on load. Let's say I want to see all the open requests always when I load the request experience. So I can define that configuration. Or let's say I want to display the open request in last 7 days, always to show up once I load that request experience. So I can apply that filter automatically. Now we'll pause for the demo of the admin configurations, and I would like to invite Ashutosh for that demo.
Thanks, Smriti. Thank you for setting up the context in such an awesome manner. I'll take the screen share and then maybe start from there.
Sure.
Please confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, great. So team, before we start with the demo, I'd like to talk about the scenario and the shoes of the person that we are going to be in today. We are going to be Beth Anglin. We are a CTO at a large IT organization. I wear multiple hats. I am a CTO. I have employees reporting to me. I am responsible for managing multiple employees, as well as I'm responsible for managing multiple sites and locations that are under my supervision. Moreover, there are multiple watch lists that I'm added to very frequently. So when I go to my request experience today in the current employee center, this is the kind of experience that I see. And here I cannot differentiate between which request I've created for myself, my employees, or someone else. Similarly, I can also not monitor the sites and other things here. Now what we'll be doing, now we'll start with the request experience. So we have created 3 new modules in the request setup. The setup is the opt-in. Source configuration is declaring where you want to pull the information from. And filter definition talks about how you want to show it. So just to show you how simple the opting in part is, I'll just click on this option and just opt in. And if I come and refresh the page, refresh my page, this is the kind of experience that I can land on. Now, before we move ahead, I would like to bring to everyone's attention. For this demonstration purpose, we have configured some additional tabs. Only for you and for others are available out of the box. I have configured these tabs additionally. Moreover, I am on December release for this demonstration purpose. Continuing with the demo, here we are logged in as Beth Anglin. We can just quickly take a look at her profile. So she is a CTO. She works from San Diego office and she has multiple reporting employees as well as co-workers. Now, when we come to the enhanced request experience, this is the kind of experience that we see. We have tabs for you, for others. We have something called as sites and factories, which we have configured. We have something called my team, so I can have visibility into my reporting employees, as well as a watch list experience. In our demo, I will be walking through all of these options one by one. So start with the For You tab. I can see that the status is auto applied with open. So I am seeing my open request. There is this updated field with 2 options available, as well as the department field. I'll show it to you very quickly how this functions. When I talk about the card, I have status, updated time, as well as the request ID and the department of this. Now what I'll try to do, I'll just quickly show you the last tickets updated in last 30 days. And I'd like to show the department as HR. So this is a reference search field and this is a drop down search field. So in the reference search field, we just selected HR. Maybe I'll select IT and just click on apply. And I can see the requests that have been opened in the IT field in the last, which are open as of now. Similarly, I can search for any other department such as HR and click on apply. And I am shown all the open HR requests that are there. So this is the additional filter that we have configured. Similarly, for others, we have similar sets of tabs. For example, someone asked this question, can I search for location in for other tab? So yes, most certainly you can. I can very quickly show you which requests are available from San Diego. So we can see that these two requests are raised from San Diego location for others. And just to give a quick summary, the For You tab talks about the request which you are the primary beneficiary of. For example, someone opened it for me or I opened it for myself. And in for others, I am the primary opener and the caller of the request here. Beneficiary could be someone else. So if we see here, we have Ramon, Abraham, and Robin as the primary beneficiary of these requests. The MacBook that the person receives or the corporate VPN, I will not be receiving this. So these are the two tabs and some additional filters that we have configured as a part of our demonstration. I can also show real quick how the search functionality functions. So I can, if I search Wi-Fi or say VPN, I will be shown the request which has this keyword as VPN, and it also searches inside the request. So it is not just the surface level. I will now come to the factories tab. Now the vision of this tab is basically a lot of employees and organizations have multiple locations. You could be in insurance business, manufacturing, retail, hardware, or food businesses, right? And you might have multiple production units. Now, what if you want as a manager to have visibility into these requests and incidents that are going on? So you can also have the location tab here. You can just search for San Diego. And I can just see all the open incidents on these places. For example, employee payroll is down in San Diego. Wi-Fi is not working in our office. I can also have one more office, for example, New York. I can just check for the requests that are open in this place. So I can see that Lyft is not working in the New York office. So I have visibility into requests which I am very far away from. Similarly, we have another tab called as My Team. Now, before we move ahead, I'd like to quickly bring to your attention to the profile. I see that Gail, Miranda, and Robin are my employees. So the requests that they have opened, Robin and other employees have raised, I can see those requests in my team. I would also like to assure you that sensitive requests such as payroll and other requests, they can be hidden, and I will be covering them in our demonstration very shortly. And I think multiple people asked this out. At least I record two people who asked for watch list. So yes, watch list is definitely possible. Anyone could create a request. They just need to go to the watch list field and add you there, and you can see any request that has been created. So it doesn't matter if they are from your under your team or not. Anyone who is creating this request, they can add you to your watch list and you can show it here. And drafts as we discussed. So this is the basic flow that we have created. We have configured multiple tabs. Here, if you see, we have status, updated, and department. In my team, we don't have any filters. Similarly, in factories, we have different sets of filters. So this is again configurable and as per your organization needs as you want to. Now, I would like to start talking about the backend demo. Smriti, are there any open questions that I should cover at this point?
I think you can continue with the demo.
Okay, great. So we have already discussed the setup. Setup is the opting in part. Once you're opted in, we see the opt out page then. So we'll continue our demo. The second chapter in this step is source configuration. So in source configuration, basically you are telling the system, this is the place where I want to source my requests from. We can cover one of the tables, for example, HR cases. I will now be opening the HR cases and showing you what is inside this. So in HR cases, we have declared the table name that this is the table and this is the title field. So I'll just draw some comparison here. So this is called the title field in bold letters in larger font. This is the title field, and out of the box you can have two supporting fields out of the box. So these are the two fields that you can have, and you can override the business rule to have multiple fields. And what portal page is? Portal page basically tells you what happens once you click on the request. So if I was to go to my employee center and open any of the HR request, this HRM to-dos page is the one which is telling me what will be shown. So if you see the URL, this is the HRM ticket page that we see here. So this is basically the source configuration. I am telling the system where I want to source the location information from. I'd also like to draw a quick parallel and understanding that you can bring requests from any table that exists in ServiceNow. So Idea Portal in future, if you buy sourcing and supply chain, Salesforce, CRM, any other tool which is inside ServiceNow table, you can just add their configuration in the table and just declare the conditions for this. So this is about the source configuration. I will now be moving to the filters definition, which is another very interesting bit. So before we move ahead, I would like to draw quick parallels here. We see that these are the filters that we see. For example, status, updated, department, and location. And these for you, for others are the tabs that we have. I would now like to draw parallels here in the feedback definition. These filters are shown in this filter definition. So here, this is the setting which controls these settings. And if we open the view filter, inside of view filter, we will see tabs such as for you, for others, factories, team, and watch list. So this is the abreast comparison that you can see here. The tab setting is configured from the view filter tab. I will now walk you into for you tab and show you how things are configured inside it. So this field is basically pretty standard. We have this render as view. This is applicable to all portal. We also have a setting called as available for and not available for, which I will be covering very shortly. Available for basically declares who all people would be able to see certain part of the configuration. So if we go to for you, I can show you one of the requests, maybe for example, incident. So inside incident, what we have told in the condition that from incident table, if caller is me, then show it in the for you tab. Basically, because if I have created an incident, it should be shown under my tab, which is for you. I will close this tab and go to the for others tab now. In for others, someone else is the beneficiary. So I cannot open it on for my behalf. So if I see SNHR core case, here sys ID, basically what we are saying here that someone else is opened it. I can open maybe some other request here, for example, SC request. That opened by is me, but requested for is not me. So I opened it, but not for myself. So this is the second part of the configuration that I can also declare request, which I open, but not for myself. I will now show you some configured tabs here, which are not available out of the box. So we have a tab called as factories. In factories, what we have done, we can just discuss one item. These are very similar to each other. So in factories, again, what we need to do, we just need to go ahead and tell the table that inside this factories tab, you need to show these information. And these three tables will be pulling their information from. And this is the condition that will be pulled out. For example, opened by is me, requested for is also me, and location is not empty. Because if it is a factory location, it should not be, the location should not be empty. So this is another condition you can put and you can play around as per your organizational needs. And I would like to also draw your attention to this new field which is called associated filters. So in associated filters, you can declare which all filters you want on a particular tab. So if I, for example, I wanted to add department in the factories tab, I would just need to do this and slide it this side on the right side and my factories would come there. For the demonstration purpose, I will continue without doing this. And I'll also cover you through my team tab here. So in my team, what we have done, we have used this available for field, which I discussed very shortly. The field is managers USA. I have created a custom group which Eric, Beth, and David are a part of, and we are logged in as Beth Anglin here. And we have declared that in the SC request table, if the opened buys manager is me, then show it under my requests. Similarly, if we take care of the HR request, this is a very good thing to look after. There was a question in the comments that in the chat that can we hide sensitive requests? So yes, most certainly you can. And this is how you need to configure it. In the SNHR core case table, you can select the open buys manager is me. So all the requests that my manager employees opened, I can see them. But then you can also put guardrails on what you don't want to show. For example, you can just select HR services, not beneficiary request. HR service is not a payroll discrepancy request. So basically you're telling the system, you know what, show all the requests inside this table, but just don't show these ones. So you can definitely maintain the confidentiality and retain employees data as per your organizational guidelines. So this is certainly possible. I'll cover one more topic, which is the watch list. And this is because this was mentioned multiple times. So each and every table comes with this option of watch list. And you can just select watch list, dynamic is me. So any kind of request, similarly in the incident table also watchlist capability is possible. So anything that has the watchlist field, you can just simply add it here and show in the watchlisted tab. So this is about the view filter. I will now talk about how these other filters are configured. So status and updated are available out of the box. So for the timing, we'll just see maybe one of them. For example, status here. So in status, we see open and closed. I can just show you open. So in filters, we see one additional thing which is called apply on load. What this basically means is we are telling the system that whenever my backend loads up, just apply this automatically. So if I was to go into the portal, if I even was to clear this, and if I was to refresh my request page, open will be automatically applied. So you can apply multiple filters out of the box as per your needs. So you can apply maybe open from last 30 days from this location. You can just pre-apply them and have them available right readily for yourself. So this is the kind of condition that you can configure here. And obviously we have included the tables here and selected that active is true. I'll now come to the location field, which has an interesting caveat of a reference field. So in location, we have something called a common location field. And in filter type, we have selected as reference here. So all the other choices were multiple choice field. You could either multi-select or single select. But here we have a reference field. And in reference, we have used the CM and common table, common location table. And we have selected the search field as name. So what we are seeing here is that from this table request table, SC request, whenever I'm trying to search, reference the location field from that. So I'll just show it to you real quick how this function works out. So if I am on the factories tab and if I am in location, here my backend table is connected here. So if I search San Diego and I click on apply, so I can see the requests that are incidents and other requests that have been created in the San Diego location. So this is how this is functioning. So this is about the location field. I'll also walk you through the department request. For example, in department also we have something called common department and we have added a tab there. So this functions very similarly as for location. So this basically covers our entire experience end to end from the old experience where you could not configure multiple things. We can now create multiple tabs, we can create multiple filters, and this is again no customization. This is the all simple configurations. You can apply multiple filters on load. You can see this expanded view on card. You can create your own filters basically. If you are aware about your tables, you can even create your own requirement. For example, last 90 days, last 3 days, last 1 day. We have location and department as the reference field. You can create even more as per your organizational needs. And similarly, we also have drafts and watchlist is definitely possible. Thank you for bringing that up. That was one of the key use cases that we heard during our research. So this is basically the overall functionality. Uh, so from the old experience where you could not differentiate between the requests that were created for others, for yourself, etc., you now have an experience where you can have multiple tabs, multiple filters without any customization to be done. This is pretty much from my side. Thank you. We are open to questions. Smriti.
Thank you so much, Ashutosh, for that amazing demo. I don't see any active questions in the Q&A panel unless Prakhar, Arjun, you guys want to address anything.
There was a common mention of the version. So this we will be covering very shortly. We have a slide for that. Smriti, we can continue with the slides.
Awesome. Just to summarize what Ashutosh has already covered in the demo. So first of all, he has shown the art of the possible configurations that you could consider for your organizations as well, including some of the interesting use cases and tabs such as Factories tab and Watch List tab, My Teams tab. And he has also shown the configurations for filters such as department, location, and so on and so forth. We have also seen how to configure the source tables from which you pull in your request. And finally, he has also covered the filters that you can configure and how you can kind of streamline your request that needs to be displayed on the request page experience. In terms of additional guidance and all the plugin details and everything that people have been asking, it is available for all Employee Center customers. you would need the plugin version 38.0.5 or above. And this is backward compatible with Xanadu patch 7, Yokohama patch 1, and available with Zurich family releases. For all the configurations that we have just shown in the demo, you would need the ESC admin or the portal admin role. And just to address some of the FAQs, in case you have any custom request tables that you have been adding to your request page so far, you can carry over those custom tables. All you have to do is manually add it via the source configurations and add filter definitions. You should be able to display those requests. If needed, you can also add additional tabs to display those requests. Is this enhanced request experience available on mobile? It is not yet available on the mobile, but it is planned for a later release. And yes, you can do the migration of custom tables via source configuration and filter definition. Just to summarize what we have covered so far, the enhanced request experience it allows you to add configurable tabs and filters and kind of display a very cleaner layout of your request cards. Then you can add or configure tabs and filters via the source configuration and filter definition table. We have tried to kind of cover that as many use cases as possible in the demo. And also, this is an opt-in based functionality. So you will need to explicitly opt into this experience. And there's also like you can opt out in case needed. And this is supported for all Employee Center customers. If we have any live questions, because this brings us to the end of the session, but if we have any questions that we want to address live, please feel free to raise your hand and we can probably unmute you and allow you to talk.
I'd like to cover before we do that, Smriti, as people
Sure.
there is a common mention of the factories tab. So what we have done here, we have tried to show that now you can reference location fields as well. So factories is just an example. Maybe if you are a semiconductor company, you may have multiple fabrication units across the United States, say 4 units. What we have tried to do there, we are showing that you can link your 4 locations, you can bring them to ServiceNow system and show them in incidents and requests. So that is the use case that we have been trying to show there. So that is the kind of reference that we are trying to do. Moreover, there is this question for watch list. So watch list, again, a lot of tables have this capability of having a watch list. And through our configuration, you can have watch list is dynamic me. So if any units or any table supports the watch list capability, you can just add it and have that request on there as a part of configuration. Yeah, Smriti, you can take the questions if you have.
Thank you,
Also, there is a
Ashutosh.
mention, sorry to interrupt. There is a
Yeah.
mention of is this free or is this charged? This is absolutely available to you out of the box without any charge, given you are on the correct releases. Smriti, can you please go to the slide for that? I think it is 38.05 and the version is mentioned on the screen. Again, it is available for all customers, EC and EC Pro, both. And Smriti will very shortly be sharing our email address. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Over to you, Smriti.
Yeah. Probably we can take 1 or 2 questions live. I see Peter's hand raised. I am allowing you to talk, Peter.
Hi, thank you. This is Peter. So I'm not too familiar with this. I apologize. I've put in a lot of development and story-wise to create this functionality, but it's really not ideal in Mickey Mouse. So I appreciate this enhancement. It's much needed. I'd like to know more about the functionality of the records when you're on the watch list. Essentially, is the watch list member able to comment on the record through that page that opens up for the widget?
Yeah, so that would depend on the request type, but yeah, most likely you should be able to comment on that. Arjun, any additional points?
Yeah, so that would depend if the watchlisted candidate has an access to the table records. but you can see the watchlisted record under my request based on the filter condition which we have added. So if your request condition says that the watchlisted person should see the record, that record will be seen in the for you or for others tab.
Peter, did we answer your question to your satisfaction?
Is it possible you can demo? You know how they say 1,000 words, pictures worth 1,000 words, but yes,
You want to see
I
the commenting
understand.
capability on the request?
Yes, or just a snapshot of what the view looks like for a record on the watch list through that my request.
Yeah, sure. I think we are at time, but yeah, I can just take 30 seconds and show it to you real quick.
Yes, thank you.
Can I take the screen share?
Sure.
Yeah, do we see my employee center screen now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the kind of experience I can open all of them and show them to you. So this is the procurement list. This is a part of supply shopping hub and procurement thing. So yes, you can comment on this. Eric showed a
Perfect.
list. I can comment hi here.
Thank
But
you.
the incident also I can do this. But there could be certain table where I do not have this commenting capability. So as my colleague Arjun mentioned, it depends on the configurations you have set up.
Okay, I see. Thank you.
Yeah, I can comment here also just for your reference. So it would depend on the conditions. And we'd be more than happy to uptake any questions you might have offline.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah, Smriti, please continue.
Yeah. So if you found the session helpful, we have a lot of other monthly events going on at a regular basis. We have employee center deployment office hours that we do every last Tuesday of a month. We have concluded the final session of employee center deployment hours for this year. So we'll be meeting next on 27th of January. But if you have any other questions that you would like the product and engineering to address, feel free to drop a email to us on uex.product at servicenow.com. You can see the email and chat. We also have employee communications officers to address employee communications related capabilities questions that requires employee center pro license. So things like microsites or news or events or the actionable banners or even campaigns. If you're struggling with any of these capabilities, this employee communications officers is our go-to place. The next sessions, we do these every first Thursday of a month, and the next session is scheduled for 4th of December. We also schedule quarterly roadmap webinars where we share the next release that we are gonna talk about. Tentatively, this is going to be scheduled in early December. So we'll be sharing more details on this pretty soon. Hopefully, today's session was helpful for you. The next session, we'll be meeting and concluding the Employee Center Academy for this year on December 17th. The topic for next month is going to be as exciting. That is going to be Now Assist for requested experience. I'm sure I've been talking to many organizations recently who are interested in Now Assist related capabilities and what we are doing within Employee Center for Now Assist. So if you are excited to kind of explore this topic with us, please stay tuned in the next month. You have a great rest of your day. Thank you for joining us today. Bye bye.
Thank you.